Her sister warned me about her past. Then I caught her cheating. Never thought I'd be the guy posting here, but here we are. My name's David, 50. I married my wife Emily 32 years ago. Yeah, I know, big age gap. People raised eyebrows, whispered about it, said she was too young for me. But honestly, I thought we'd beaten the odds. She was sweet, full of life, and she told me she wanted someone steady after years of dating guys who never treated her right. At first it felt like I'd hit the jackpot. She made me feel young again. My friends teased me, calling me lucky, and even my mom said, "She seems to really adore you, David. Don't let the age thing scare you." But then there was Rachel. Rachel is Emily's older sister, 35F. Stunning, sharp-tongued, the kind of woman who turns heads without even trying. From day one she was cold to me. Barely said hello at family dinners, gave me that icy look like she knew something I didn't. I figured she just didn't like the age gap. Except things changed. Over time Rachel started softening. Laughing at my jokes. Standing too close. One night, after a few glasses of wine, she cornered me in the kitchen and said, "You know, David, you could have done better than my little sister." I laughed it off, but then she leaned in and whispered things I'll never forget. About Emily's past. How they used to sneak into strip shows together, crash singles parties, sleep with men they just met. Rachel smirked and said, "She's not picky, my sister. Never has been." I brushed it off at the time. Told myself Rachel was just bitter, maybe jealous. But her words stuck with me. And as the months went on, little cracks started showing in Emily. Late nights. New clothes I never saw receipts for. Excuses about gallery openings, or girls' nights. And suddenly Rachel's warning didn't sound like bitterness anymore. It sounded like the truth. The first real crack came on a Tuesday night. Emily had told me she was going out with friends to some art networking event. She came home at 2 a.m. in a silk dress I'd never seen before, smelling like expensive cologne that sure as hell wasn't mine. I wanted to believe her, I really did. But Rachel's words kept echoing in my head. She's not picky. Never has been. The next day, while Emily was in the shower, her phone lit up on the nightstand. A preview of a message from Evan popped up. "Last night was perfect. Still thinking about how you looked in that red dress." And out of it, my stomach turned. I opened the thread. The messages were brutal. Flirty banter. Plans to meet again. And then the one that gutted me. Her, "Can't stop thinking about your hands on me. You make me feel alive in ways David never could." Him, "Next time no hotel. I want you in your bed." Our bed. The same bed where we made love. The same bed where she told me she wanted a family with me. I kept scrolling, hands shaking. Photos. Blurry, low light, but enough. Emily in that silk dress, pressed against a man's chest, lipstick smeared, his hand sliding down her thigh. In another, she was straddling him on a hotel chair, her face tilted back, lips parted. I nearly threw up. By the time she stepped out of the shower, humming to herself, I was sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at her phone like it was a weapon that had just destroyed my life. And for the first time since I'd married her, I felt old. Not just in years. In my bones. When Emily came out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around her, she was humming like nothing had happened. She didn't even notice her phone wasn't where she'd left it. I held it up. "Who's Evan?" She froze. The color drained from her face. For a moment she just stood there, dripping water on the floor, eyes darting like a cornered animal. Then she forced a laugh. "Oh my God, David. Are you serious? Evan's just a guy from the gallery. He's dramatic. You know how artists are." I opened the message thread and read aloud, "Can't stop thinking about your hands on me." Her towel slipped as she dropped to her knees in front of me, grabbing my hands with wet fingers. "Please, David, it's not what you think. He's obsessed with me, but I don't care about him. I was just being nice, I swear. I didn't sleep with him. I'd never do that to you." I shoved the phone in her face. "Then what's this? Photos of you straddling him? Lipstick smeared all over his neck? That's just being nice." Her tears spilled instantly. She clutched at my legs now, voice cracking. "I was drunk. He kissed me and I didn't know how to stop it. Please, David, please believe me. You mean everything to me. I can't lose you." She buried her face against my knee, sobbing like a child. Her hair was damp against my skin, her words muffled but desperate. "I'll cut him off, I'll delete his number, I'll never go to another gallery event again. Please, please don't leave me." For a second I almost caved. The sight of her crying, kneeling on the floor, begging like her life depended on it, it tugged at something in me. But then I remembered Rachel's words. The strip shows. The singles parties. How Emily had always been like this. And it hit me, This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a slip. This was who she really was. That night I didn't sleep. I lay in the guest room staring at the ceiling while Emily cried herself to sleep in hours. Every time I closed my eyes I saw those photos. Her on his lap, her lips pressed against his neck, the look on her face like she was alive in a way she never looked with me. At first came the rage. I wanted to storm over to this Evan guy's place, drag him out by his collar and beat the smug out of him. I wanted to scream at Emily until my throat gave out. My fists ached from clenching. But rage burns fast. And when it cooled, sadness crept in. The kind that sits in your chest like a stone. I thought of all the nights I stayed late at work, saving for vacation she said she wanted. The surprise dinners I planned. The way I always told her she was beautiful even when she rolled her eyes. And all the while, she was whispering to another man that I made her feel safe, while he made her feel alive. The humiliation ate at me. I imagined my friends finding out. My parents. The whispers behind my back. What did he expect, marrying someone that much younger? The next morning, Emily tiptoed into the guest room. She climbed onto the bed beside me, kneeling again, clutching my arm. "Please, David," she whispered, voice raw from crying. "I'll change. I'll never see him again. I'll go to therapy. I'll prove to you that I love you. Don't throw us away." Her tears dripped onto my arm. She kissed my hand over and over like it was some sacred thing. And here's the part one hate admitting. I wanted to believe her. So I tried. For the next couple weeks I tried. She cooked every night, texted me constantly, even threw herself at me in bed, desperate to show she was still mine. But every time she touched me, my brain screamed Evan's hands. Every time she kissed me, I tasted lies. I realized then I could try to forgive. I could even pretend for a while. But I would never forget. And that truth was going to break me long before it broke her. It was Rachel who finally pushed things past the point of no return. One evening, after another awkward dinner where Emily plastered on her perfect wife smile, Rachel caught me alone in the driveway as I was taking out the trash. She leaned against her car, arms crossed, watching me with that same sharp look she'd had since day one. "You know she's still lying to you, right?" she said flatly. I bristled. "Rachel, I don't need this right now." She smirked. "Don't shoot the messenger. But you need to know who you married." And then she unloaded. Stories from their 20s, sneaking into strip clubs together, crashing singles-only parties and leaving with strangers. She told me how Emily had always bragged about being able to get any guy she wanted. How she never turned down attention no matter where it came from. "She's not picky, David," Rachel said, her voice cold. "Never has been. You're not the first man she's played. You're just the one with the money and the patience." I stared at her, stunned. "Why are you telling me this?" For the first time Rachel's mask cracked. She stepped closer, her voice dropping. "Because I don't want to see you humiliated any more than you already are. She doesn't deserve you. I could treat you better than she ever will." I froze. She was so close I could smell her perfume, feel the heat of her body. Her eyes were hungry in a way that made me take a step back. Rachel laughed softly. "Don't worry. I'm not asking for anything, yet. Just think about it. And remember, Emily will never stop. Because cheating isn't a mistake for her. It's her nature." She slid into her car and drove off, leaving me standing there in the dark with my trash bags and a stomach full of bile. It was one thing to suspect. It was another thing entirely to hear her own sister say it out loud. And for the first time I started to wonder if Rachel was right. I couldn't keep it bottled anymore. I sat my parents down one Sunday afternoon and told them everything. The messages, the photos, even Rachel's late-night confession. My mom's eyes filled with tears almost instantly. She grabbed my hand across the table. "Oh, David, you've always given her everything. You don't deserve this." My dad, on the other hand, was furious. His face turned red, his voice like a shotgun blast. "I told you from the start, son. A woman that young with that kind of past? This was bound to happen. You need to cut her loose before she drags you down any further." It stung to hear, but I couldn't deny he was right. Telling Emily's family was worse. Her mom waved it off with a chuckle, sipping her wine. "Oh, please. You're overreacting. Emily just likes attention. Men do this all the time and nobody blinks. Why should it be different for her?" Her dad muttered something about forgiveness and staying strong, but his eyes never left the TV. He didn't care, not really. Her sister. Well, Rachel just smirked. "See? I told you. But hey, maybe now you'll realize you settled for the wrong sister." Meanwhile, Emily herself collapsed in the middle of her parents' living room, dropping to her knees, clutching at my leg like a drowning woman. Mascara streaked down her face as she sobbed, Please, David, don't listen to them. I'm not like that anymore. I swear I'll change, I'll cut everyone off, I'll do therapy every day, just don't leave me. She kissed my hands, begged until her voice went hoarse, but her family just watched. Her mom with that smug little smile, Rachel with hungry eyes. And that's when it hit me. Emily wasn't just a liar. She was a liar raised by people who thought betrayal was normal. If I wanted out, I couldn't just fight her. I'd have to fight the whole damn family. Just when I thought I had the full picture, another skeleton fell out of Emily's closet. It started with a bank statement. I was combing through our joint account, making sure she hadn't drained us with her late-night gallery events. That's when I noticed a charge at a boutique hotel downtown, not once but 3 times over the past 2 months. I knew damn well she hadn't taken me there. So I drove down, asked the receptionist casually about our previous stays. Slipped her $20. And what do you know, Emily had checked in under her own name. Always with a guest. My stomach flipped. When I got home, I tore through her purse. Buried under a mess of lipstick and receipts was a folded napkin with a phone number scrawled in messy handwriting. No name, just, had fun last time. Call me Winky Face. That night I confronted her. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I just laid the evidence on the table, the bank statements, the hotel records, the napkin. Her face crumpled immediately. She dropped to her knees so fast you'd think she'd practiced it. Grabbing at my hands, tears streaming, she wailed. It wasn't serious. I was drunk. He was nobody, just some guy I met at a bar. Please, David, please, you have to believe me. It didn't mean anything. You mean everything to me. Please, don't take my life away from me. She kissed my hands, clutched my legs, even pressed her forehead to the floor like she was praying to me. But all I saw was a pattern. Evan. This mystery man. And God knows who else. It wasn't just one mistake. It was who she was. And in that moment, I knew forgiveness wasn't just impossible, it would be suicide for my soul. By then, I knew there was no salvaging this marriage. Emily wasn't just unfaithful, she was a serial liar who thought crying and kneeling could erase months of betrayal. So I stopped arguing. Stopped yelling. Stopped reacting. Instead, I started planning. I collected everything. The screenshots of her texts with Evan. The blurry hotel selfies she thought she'd deleted. The bank statements showing charges at the boutique hotel. That napkin with the phone number. Even Rachel's stories about Emily's past, which lined up a little too neatly with her present. I bought a small fireproof lockbox and kept it all there, organized like a case file. Meanwhile, I played my part. I let Emily believe her begging was working. She'd kneel in the kitchen, crying into the tile, swearing she'd change. I'd pat her hair, tell her I needed time, and let her think she still had me on the hook. But the truth was I was setting the stage. Because if Emily wanted to live in lies, I was going to drag every single one of them into the light. The opportunity came quicker than I expected. Her mom's birthday was coming up, a big family dinner with both sides invited. Emily was buzzing about it, saying, "This will be perfect. Everyone will see how strong we are, how happy we are." She even bragged about the dress she bought just for the occasion. I'll look like the perfect wife, and they'll all shut up about the past. Perfect wife. I smiled and told her she'd look beautiful. But inside, I was already rehearsing what I'd say when I tore her little performance apart in front of everyone. This wasn't going to end in whispers. It was going to end in fire. The night of her mother's birthday dinner, Emily floated into the restaurant like she was the star of some movie. New emerald dress, hair curled, diamond earrings glinting in the light. Gifts from me back when I was still blind. She clung to my arm, kissed my cheek and whispered, "Thank you for standing by me. Tonight, everyone will see how perfect we are." Both families were there. My parents sat stiff and silent. Her dad hunched over his drink like he wanted to disappear. Her mom was loud, smug, already 2 glasses in, while Rachel sat across the table with that sly smile that said she knew what was coming. Emily waited until the cake was brought out, then stood with her champagne glass, tapping it with her fork. "I just want to say," she began, her voice syrupy sweet, "that I am so grateful for my amazing husband. He's been my rock, my everything. No matter what anyone says, love always wins, right, David?" She turned to me with a practiced smile, expecting me to nod and play along. Instead, I stood, pulled the lockbox I'd hidden under my chair, and set it on the table with a hard thud. "Funny thing about love," I said, flipping it open, "it doesn't survive lies. And it definitely doesn't survive this." I spread the evidence out like playing cards. Texts with Evan, hotel receipts, the photo of her straddling him, even the napkin with the mystery man's number. Gasps rippled down the table. My mom covered her mouth. My dad muttered, Jesus Christ. Rachel leaned back in her chair, smirking like Christmas came early. Emily's face went white. She stumbled forward, hands shaking, voice breaking. David, please don't do this here. I can explain. Explain what? I snapped. That you've been screwing around with Evan, sneaking into hotels with strangers, while telling me I wasn't enough. That your sister had to warn me because she knew you'd never stop. Emily crumbled. Right there in the middle of the restaurant, she fell to her knees, clutching at my leg, sobbing, please, please, I'll change, I'll never see them again, I'll do therapy every day, just don't leave me. Don't humiliate me like this. Her mother actually laughed. Oh, David, stop being dramatic. She's young. Let her have her fun. My dad slammed his fist on the table. Fun? She humiliated my son. You raised a liar and now everyone knows it. Rachel just sipped her wine, eyes locked on me like she was enjoying the show more than anyone. Emily wailed louder, begging, sobbing into the floor while the entire restaurant stared. And for the first time in months, I didn't feel old. I didn't feel weak. I felt powerful. The restaurant erupted into chaos. Emily was still on the floor, mascara streaking down her cheeks, sobbing into the hem of my pants, begging, please, David, I'll change, I'll be the wife you deserve, just don't leave me like this. Her voice cracked so badly it was painful to listen to. My mom wept quietly, shaking her head. How could you do this to him, Emily? How could you? My dad, red in the face, growled across the table at her mother. You raised this. You taught her cheating was normal. You poisoned her. Her mom sneered, swirling her wine. Oh, please. You men cheat all the time. My daughter just refuses to play dumb like the rest of us. That lit a fuse under my father. He stood so fast his chair toppled. Don't you dare compare this to some men cheat, women cheat crap. My son gave her everything. And she spat in his face. Rachel leaned forward, smirking. Told you she'd never change, David? Guess you finally believe me now. Her dad muttered something about keeping it down, but no one listened. Chris, one of Emily's old party friends who happened to be at the table, tried to slink out only for Rachel to hiss, stay. You had your fun too, didn't you? His face went crimson. Meanwhile, Emily's wailing only grew louder. She clawed at my legs, pressed her forehead against my shoe, sobbing, don't throw me away, please, I can't live without you. And that was the moment I realized she wasn't begging for me. She was begging for her safety net. For the stability I gave her. For the life she was about to lose. I pulled my leg free, my voice steady. You already threw us away, Emily. I'm just finishing what you started. The room went silent. Everyone was staring. Some in shock, some in pity, Rachel in satisfaction. Emily collapsed fully to the floor, shoulders shaking, her cries echoing off the walls. And I walked out, leaving her in the wreckage she built. Filing for divorce felt like ripping out the last rotten tooth, painful but necessary. Emily thought she could spin it. From the moment the papers landed, she texted me nonstop, we can fix this. Please don't ruin our family. I'll prove myself to you. But in court? She went full actress. She showed up in a modest dress, hair pulled back, clutching tissues like they were props. She dabbed her eyes every few minutes, sighing heavily, playing the part of the broken, devoted wife. Then came her lies. She swore to the judge she never cheated. That Evan was just a colleague who misunderstood her kindness. That the hotel receipts were group outings. That the photos were taken out of context. When that fell flat, she changed tactics. Even if anything did happen, it was before the vows, so technically it doesn't count as infidelity. My lawyer nearly choked holding back laughter. And then, the audacity, she asked for spousal support. Claimed she'd sacrificed her career for me, that I was controlling, and that she deserved financial compensation. That's when I dropped the evidence. Screenshots. Bank statements. Witness testimony. Even Derek, the guy she swore was just a friend, submitted a statement saying she told him I was boring but safe. The judge's face said it all. Verdict, divorce granted. No spousal support. I kept the house, the car, and my savings. Emily walked out with nothing but her clothes and her crocodile tears. And right there in the aisle in front of everyone she broke. She dropped to her knees, sobbing, clutching at the hem of my suit like a child. Please, David, I can't live without you. I'll change, I'll do anything, don't do this to me. The judge banged the gavel. That's enough. And just like that, it was over. The marriage was dead. And so was the mask she'd worn all along. Next part. Once the gavel came down, Emily's carefully crafted world fell apart piece by piece. The first cracks showed in our neighborhood. Word of the courtroom drama spread fast, and suddenly she wasn't Emily the vibrant young wife anymore. She was Emily the cheater who lost everything. Old friends stopped returning her calls. Moms at the local coffee shop whispered behind her back. Invitations dried up overnight. Then came her finances. Without spousal support and with her spotty work history, she had nothing. She tried crashing at her mom's house, but even Diane, the same woman who laughed at my pain, got sick of the crying and the shame. One night, Emily showed up at her apartment door, and Diane told her to pull herself together before slamming it in her face. Rachel? She reached out once, not to comfort Emily but to gloat. Emily told me later, in a drunk voicemail, that Rachel smirked and said, "He was never really yours, Em. You just borrowed him." Emily ended up in a dingy apartment on the far side of town, working retail shifts to make rent. People saw her at bars, drunk and sloppy, crying in bathrooms, trying to flirt with guys who laughed about it afterward. One of my buddies even sent me a screenshot of her on a dating app. The bio read, "Looking for someone exciting, no boring guys." It was almost poetic. She'd called me safe. She'd wanted excitement. And now all she had was chaos. And while she spiraled, I was finally learning what peace felt like. The day the divorce papers were finalized, I went home, poured a glass of whiskey, and sat in silence. For the first time in years, the silence didn't feel heavy. It felt clean. I started with myself. Joined a gym, at first just to sweat out the anger, but soon it became therapy. Every drop of sweat, every rep, every mile burned off the poison she'd left in me. By 6 months in, I was in better shape than I'd been since my 30s. Then I went back to the things I'd abandoned. I dusted off my old guitar, started hiking trails on weekends, even signed up for a photography class on a whim. Turns out I loved it. There was something healing about focusing a lens on beauty after years of staring at lies. My mom hugged me one evening and whispered, "You look like my son again." My dad clapped me on the shoulder and said, "Proud of you, kid." Those words meant more than I can explain. I also reconnected with friends, the real ones, not the ones who hung around for Emily's parties. We had beers, laughed about stupid things, planned fishing trips. They told me I seemed lighter, funnier, more myself. And they were right. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't living under the shadow of a liar. I wasn't the man waiting at home, wondering who his wife was with. I was just David again. And damn, it felt good. It happened on a rainy Friday night. I was grabbing takeout from a bar downtown when I heard someone call my name. "David?" I turned, and for a second I didn't recognize her. It was Emily. Her hair was stringy and damp, makeup smeared, clothes wrinkled and hanging off her frame. She clutched a cheap purse to her chest, eyes bloodshot and glassy. She looked hollow. She stumbled closer, voice trembling. "Please, can we talk? Just 5 minutes, please." Before I could answer, she dropped to her knees right there on the wet sidewalk, clutching at my hands, crying so hard she could barely breathe. "I miss you, David. I ruined everything. I was stupid, I was selfish, but I've changed, I swear to God. Just give me one more chance. I'll do anything. Please. I can't live like this anymore." Passers-by were staring. A couple even whispered. And all I could think about was how many times I'd seen her in that exact position. Kneeling, begging, crying, swearing she'd change, only to go back to her old ways the second I looked away. I pulled my hands free, steady this time. "You already had your chances, Emily. You burned every single one. You didn't just betray me, you destroyed yourself. And now you want me to save you from it. But I'm done being your lifeline." Her sobs turned into wails as I stepped past her and walked away, the rain drowning out her cries. And for the first time I didn't feel anger. Or sadness. Or pity. I felt free. It's been a year since that rainy night and I haven't seen Emily since. Word gets around though, she's still drifting. Couch surfing, working odd jobs, showing up at bars like a ghost of who she used to be. But me? I'm not the same man who sat in that driveway clutching his wife's phone, watching his world implode. Back then I thought my life was over. Now I know it was just beginning. Here's what I learned. Cheating isn't a mistake, it's a pattern. If they've done it before, they'll do it again. Don't let tears convince you otherwise. Begging isn't remorse. Dropping to their knees, crying, kissing your hands, that's theater. Real remorse is action, and she never showed me any. Gaslighting is cruelty in disguise. Emily tried to make me feel crazy for questioning her, when the truth was right in front of me. If you feel like you're losing your mind, you're probably closer to the truth than they want. Revenge feels sweet, but freedom feels sweeter. Exposing her at that dinner was satisfying. But walking away, rebuilding my life and living better without her? That's real victory. You are enough. For years she called me safe, like it was an insult. But safe isn't boring. Safe is loyal. Safe is steady. Safe is a man who shows up. And I'll never again let anyone make me feel small for that. If you're reading this at 2 a.m., stomach in knots because you suspect your partner is lying, listen to your gut. Don't waste years waiting for them to become someone they'll never be. I thought I lost everything when Emily betrayed me. But the truth is I lost nothing. I gained freedom. And freedom, my friends, is worth more than any apology they'll ever choke out once their lies catch up to them. I have many other stories. Go to my channel, subscribe so you don't lose us. Give me a thumbs up.